Jesus. Hey there, and welcome back to Five Nights at WARIO'S Deluxe, where we're going to be going into custom night trying to take on 520 mode, all out, as they call it, and let's just see how it is. Let's just see how it is. Remember, the main key thing is to be careful with Peach, and to not use the lights too much. If I can just get those two ideas down, they'll be fine. And I like that they just put that in the top right, all out. There's Luigi. I have to be careful of cameras 1 and 9. There's the princess. And already Mario's on the monitor. See, Waluigi's already there. I guess my main worry is reaction time. Wario's already there. Sure. Alright, let's see if we can find the princess. Alright, let's go back to map A, or camera A. Waluigi's already back. I kept that closed for way too long. Okay, that's free. Luigi's there. Princess hasn't left quite yet. Okay, I think Luigi's gone now. Making sure. To be honest, power is still way lower than I'd like it to be. But that's mainly because I've been keeping the door closed way too long. Alright, Luigi's also there. Let me go back to camera 4. They might have left. Nope, didn't leave. Well, Luigi sure left though. Alright, there we go. That was slow. Ah, she's there. Ah, damn it. Good try. Good first try. I have to be a lot more careful with my power, though. I mean, I actually like managed to fix that issue like towards the end there, right? 3 a.m. we were at 100, which is pretty much ideal, right? Because that's halfway. But I don't know. It wasn't looking too good early on. Luigi's nearby. Yeah, 2 a.m. now. We're really in the bad area here. And Waluigi's also there. Oh, I thought that was... There she is. Come on. Jesus! That startled me. Okay. No, restart. If there's one thing I can't have is, I can't be wasting power like that. Especially since I think... Actually, let's test that real quick. How much... Normally you lose 5 power when you use the light incorrectly, right? When you use the light when she's not there. How about now? It's still 5, okay. Just wanted to make sure of that. Jesus. That's not... Oh my god. Why am I was thinking of the toggle. Like, that was... of course, the first run is pretty much the best so far. 3 AM. And I haven't been able to get anywhere near there now. Waluigi's outside again. Or Luigi. No Waluigi, I can look for Peach. Waluigi's on the outside. I wasn't in the ring. Oh, come on, that was good. I was clicking, but I didn't lower the mouse enough. Hold on. I was like, I didn't know where Luigi was. I haven't seen Luigi in a bit. Yeah, nice try. What the hell? When did Luigi... Oh, there's no way Luigi snuck up on me like that, man. What? Oh, he just left. See, look at that. That's how he can catch you like that. Off the... like, instantly. Luigi's there. They're both there. I don't care. I had to try. Of course you're here. Come on. That was such a horrible waste for no reason. Wario's back. Look at that, we're at 80 now because of that giant waste. Pretty sure you're gone, yeah. That's the thing, sometimes you can't even tell when they're gone. That's what's so tricky sometimes. You don't even know when they leave. Check for Luigi. Luigi's not there. Luigi left. I mean Wario. Oh my god. How did I know? How did I know? You were trying to sneak past me again. This is me panicking. Alright, they're both at the door. I'm not gonna make it. It's not even 5 AM yet. My best chance is to wait like this now. Nah, my best chance is to literally wait. Literally, I would have had 5 more if I didn't waste that. That 5 could have made all the difference. Damn, didn't even get much there. Oh! Let's go. Never mind. I actually clutched that. Let's go. Hold on, am I recording?
This is Lucas McCroy.
Ooh.
Audio log, August
Our
14th,
father.
2014. WARIO'S fast food factory has closed its doors once again.
Yeah.
This time, for good. Due to safety measures and work environment not meeting government standards. To make matters worse, my plan to have my son get a head-on experience with the mysteries I'm researching.
Mysteries?
We've been detecting the anomalies from the factory's land for a long time now. I had high hopes my son would accept the job and bring me any paranormal reports. Not as in Richard being part of the plan. He doesn't know about anything I'm doing. But rather, as a father-son conversation. He did accept the job offer as a night guard. I used him, but...
That's kind of screwed.
It's all for the greater good.
Really?
To learn more about the structures of this world from a safe distance. Unfortunately, Richard won't talk to me.
I wonder why.
He seems to be totally and completely lost in his own mind now, after his 1 week at the factory. He refuses to tell me anything. Hopefully, one day, he will pull himself together and speak up.
So, that's the premise. That's why he funded the whole factory reopening. It wasn't really to like get the factory started up again. He wanted to investigate the mysteries behind it. I guess specifically the disappearance of the original owner and the employees, right? And Waluigi, the co-owner. Huh. Well, that seems to have been pretty much at least illuminate a little bit more as to why the factory was reopened in the first place, which is interesting, right? It's all part of a paranormal investigation. Also, what character is that supposed to be, by the way? Like I've been noticing that weird like character show up, but it's not any of the characters, right? Because that's Peach. We've seen Luigi; he's literally hanging in the background. We've seen Wario. Have you seen Mario in this part? I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, like what is that? What is that character? He's not in any of the character screens here, which is interesting. Also, I haven't covered this yet. I have a section where I go through the extras. That was originally part of the last video, but the last video literally was already 30-some minutes. So I ended up just passing it over to this video pretty much. So I'll obviously cut to that eventually. Alright, so I guess I'll give my thoughts on the game entirely before I move on to the extra section of the video. Overall, this has been quite the fun experience. I love the visual design, the sound design, right? All the sound effects that take place during the night really add to the ambience of the place, right? Giving it this really creepy vibe, especially considering that we're dealing with supposedly the spirits of those that went missing 7 years ago. I think it works really well, especially like the black and white filter over everything. You know, I love seeing that kind of aesthetic in fan games in general, right? I remember seeing it in A Shadow Over Freddy's. I know there's other games that have done it. It's just off the top of my head, A Shadow Over Freddy's is one of the original ones that I played that have this aesthetic with the black and white. It works really well, right? It gives off that more antique type of vibe, and the absence of color really does help in the horror aspect, I think. Gameplay wise, you know, we have doors, right? Pretty self-explanatory. The idea of trying to listen for Peach in the tunnels is really cool, and it obviously is also nerve-wracking because it's not like you go to the camera, you instantly can tell she's there. You have to literally wait to see if a sound appears, which can get nerve-wracking as the nights get harder and harder, and you have to obviously be aware of who's at your doors. Obviously, Mario shows up from the little tablet in front of you. You have to just flip the camera up and down. Pretty self-explanatory as well. What I do like about the way this game's design has gone is that it kind of focuses on the idea that you don't want to just rely on the lights to tell if Wario or Waluigi or Luigi is at your doorways, right? Because one of my main criticisms a lot of times with a lot of fan games, you know, towards the higher difficulties, is that a lot of times they'll have a camera system, right, that you're supposed to use, right? Because that's kind of like one of the hallmarks of FNAF fan games, and as the nights get harder and harder, you end up using it less and less and less, which is one of my criticisms, right? Because it happens so much, right? And I usually wish that even if the nights do get harder, there's a way to keep implementing the camera system, right? Which is supposed to be one of the biggest parts, quote unquote, or the biggest identity when it comes to a FNAF fan game in a way. It's the most iconic, I guess is a better way of putting it. But this game does a really nice job of that, because obviously if you try going the lights approach, you're not going to win. Right, it's just not possible. The power drain from turning on the light is literally 1 power every time you turn on the light. So, considering you have 200 power, that's not nearly enough to cover the whole night, especially given how often they appear and how many times you're going to be wasting power trying to figure out if they're at your doorway or not. Which is why it's just better if you use the cameras to keep vigilant over the 3 characters, right? It's not just, oh, I'm using the cameras to look over Peach, right? You're also trying to look for Luigi, Waluigi, and Wario, which I really do appreciate. And then as for the story, you know, it's really interesting so far. It's part of a series, right? So obviously this is not the whole story, this is just like the foundation. But we have, you know, 5 disappearances, right? A fast food factory that was at one point successful, right? With a history of successes behind it, right, such as WarioWare and Cafe, which closed down for mysterious circumstances as well. So maybe the idea is that Wario's establishments have been somehow haunted by some sort of entity. That's one way of putting it. That's one possibility. And then we have James, the phone guy, who seems to have shared a dream that Waluigi also had about some dark room, I believe, if I remember correctly. The sharing dreams, again, points to the idea that maybe an entity in this factory is influencing them. Obviously, James seems to have died. We know that they're demonic spirits, right, who are seemingly looking for the one that's killed them. So obviously these spirits are most likely the people, the employees, owner, co-owner, unless there are spirits that have died much earlier in the timeline, like maybe at the cafe, and they've been pretty much looking for the culprit this whole time. Again, possibility, but who knows. We also have that scene where Luigi seems to have finally been dispossessed, the spirit pretty much lifted from the mascot, and then the mascot just laid there, suggesting that that spirit has moved on to something else at the very least. So there's definitely a lot of questions still to be resolved, and I'm curious to see if they do continue this series, how that's gonna go. But so far, pretty interesting. I do like what they have set up so far. It is worth mentioning that this is a remake, and I don't really know much about the Five Nights at Wario's games in general, and their story at all, if they have one. I don't really know. Oh, look! I forgot about that. The spirit in the doorway. I can't believe they just showed that. They actually reminded me of that. We also have that spirit, in that, like, that spirit face that showed up one time throughout my entire playthrough, right? And I thought for a second it was like a scripted event until it never happened again on night 4, I believe. So that's also really interesting. Maybe that's one of the spirits that died here, right? One of the employees, because they had like a purple hue, I think, in the background. There was like purple when that spirit was at the doorway, and obviously the spirit that left Luigi is also purple, suggesting that maybe there's some correlation there, or maybe that's just how the spirits look like. But that's another detail. I mean, there's a lot of like nice little details and nice little story pieces that make you wonder what's going on here, especially with regards to Waluigi's dreams, and there's just a lot that they can go into in future installments, and I hope that they do plan on continuing the series. And so with that said, we'll move on to the extra segment that I have recorded already, and then obviously after that will be the end of the video. No. And so next up we have extras, so I'm just gonna roll that right now. Now, obviously, that leaves us with the bonus menu, which has characters, jump scares, credits, replay nights, and unused edits. So, I think we will... Does this have, like, bios or anything? No. So, we can look at the characters real quick, right? Wario, Waluigi, Luigi with the giant nose, Peach, Mario, and then Wario Man costume. Does this mean... Wait, so... Am I just... Hold on. Maybe I didn't notice it, right? But if we go to Final Night again, who is going after us? Because I didn't really, like... I wasn't able... I didn't really pay too much attention to the design. I didn't want to get jump scared. But... Obviously, this isn't Wario, right? This isn't just Wario. It's another character. Is this actually the murderer's costume? Yes, I know. Wait, wait, why is it red? What? So, it's a completely different costume. It's not this costume. It's literally this costume, but with a red instead of yellow. That's odd. It's like a different character. See, look, they even note it as a different character. So, we have sound. I still can't take that seriously. Just look at that. Just like it looks so silly. Peach is by far the most brutal, probably. Mainly also because he's like, if you close the door, he's like, I don't think so. And now we have. Oh, this is Night Wario. Okay, like or Power Down Wario, basically. And then there's an echo for this one. It's also a different effect. Like this one has a white fade and this one just fades. That's interesting. So it's like an older version of the character but still wearing red? That's not really what Wario wears, I guess, normally. But then again, who knows? Why is this Wario wearing red? Who knows? That's interesting. Here are the credits, of course. Great job on everyone that worked on the game because this was a really good game. Unused edits like Waluigi in the bathroom, we don't see because the bathroom doesn't have a camera in the main nights. And either way, Waluigi wouldn't go to the left side anyway. Waluigi at the office exit, so basically, what if Waluigi was able to go on the left side, right? Left door, Waluigi in storage, in the freezing room, Peach in the corridor, alternate pose, because honestly we did learn that Peach does sometimes go in this corridor. Peach machinery, very rarely. I don't think she ever goes in there. Pretty much just showing like possible poses in the other cameras. Luigi and Peach in original entrance 2. In the center, so it's like suggesting that there was an entrance in like the middle, kind of. That's interesting. Huh. And then obviously this is the original game over screen with Wario, Waluigi. I think Luigi might be there in the background, I'm not sure. This is endless. I'm good. Not even gonna try it. But of course, with all that said, I hope you did enjoy. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Lets me know you're enjoying the content and want to see more of it. Once again, great job to everyone that worked on this game. Here are the credits. Can't wait to see how this series continues, if it is still being continued. And of course, with that said, I'll see you in another video. Take care.